Act 1. The seed and the sprouting, the beginning. The roots of Rome lie behind a veil of mist where myth and reality intertwine. Founded on a hill in 753 BCE, this settlement was initially no different from its neighbors. From kingdom to republic, Rome was first ruled by local kings. However, unable to tolerate tyranny, it transitioned to the republic, res publica system, a move that would change the world. Discipline and law. What set Rome apart from its rivals was not just its sword, but its legal system, grounded in the 12 tables, and its inexhaustible resilience. They were a society that never gave up even when defeated, drawing a lesson from every war. Act 2. Master of the Mediterranean, the rise. Rome became a world power through its military genius and its talent for assimilation. The end of Carthage. By annihilating its greatest rival in the Mediterranean, Carthage, the Punic Wars, Rome became the sole master of the sea, the power of the legion. The Roman army possessed a level of discipline never seen before. They built roads and bridges. In other words, they managed not just the war, but the logistics as well. Pax Romana, Roman peace. In this period, beginning with Augustus, the empire's borders stretched from Britain to Egypt. Rome carried its own culture, language, Latin, and architecture to the lands it conquered. Act 3. The falling columns, causes of decline. No sun can stay at its zenith forever. The fall of Rome occurred not through a single blow, but through a series of metal fatigue issues from both within and without. Economic decay, endless war expenses, hyperinflation, and the agricultural sector becoming overly dependent on slave labor paralyzed the economy. Administrative chaos. The empire had grown so vast that it could no longer be managed from a single center. Struggles for the throne and the military's interference in politics, such as the Praetorian Guard choosing emperors, shook state authority. Religious and social transformation. The rise of Christianity led to the questioning of old Roman virtus, and the divine authority of the emperor, fundamentally altering the social fabric. Barbarian invasions and division. The state, which split into East and West in 395 CE, could not withstand the Germanic tribes, Visigoths, Vandals, driven by the migration of period, triggered by the Huns. In 476 CE, the Western Roman Empire officially vanished from history. In summary, Rome became a victim of its own success. It grew too large, spent too much, and eventually collapsed under its own weight. However, the legal system it established and its engineering marvels remain the pillars that support the modern world today. Two most charismatic and controversial figures of Roman history. On one side, Julius Caesar, the executioner of the Republic and the architect of the empire. On the other, Nero, an emperor dragging an empire into the shadows of art and madness. Here are the roles these two names played in the fate of Rome. 1. Julius Caesar, the genius who shattered order. Caesar was not just a leader of Rome, he was like a permanent software glitch in the system. He trampled the Republic's cumbersome structure under his military boots. Military charisma. By bringing Gaul, modern-day France, to its knees in 8 years, he secured massive lands and gold for Rome. His soldiers worshipped him because Caesar ate the same food and slept in the same mud as they did. The Rubicon and the die is cast. In 49 BCE, he marched on Rome by crossing the Rubicon River with his army. This was the ultimate challenge to the Senate and the old order. The beginning of the end. Being declared dictator for life triggered Rome's libertarian instincts. On March 15th, the Ides of March, he was stabbed to death by a group of senators, including his closest friend Brutus. Legacy. Caesar died, but Caesarism was born. He drove the final nail into the Republic's coffin and paved the imperial way for his adopted son, Augustus. 2. Nero, the emperor on stage. Nero is the pinnacle of Rome's bad boy image. However, according to historians, he was not just a tyrant, but an artist who had chosen the wrong profession. Passion for art. Nero saw himself more as a poet, musician, and actor than an emperor. He would take the stage and play the lyre for hours, forbidding anyone from leaving the theater. The Great Fire of Rome, 64 CE. According to legend, he played the lyre and sang while Rome burned. By blaming Christians for the fire, he initiated the first major persecutions in history. However, building a massive palace, Domus Aurea, on the land cleared by the fire fueled rumors that he had started the blaze himself. The beginning of the end. Cornered by tax increases, the humiliation of the aristocracy, and the withdrawal of military support, he realized he had been betrayed and committed suicide in 68 CE. His final words were, "What an artist dies in me."